So welcome, folks. It's lovely to have you on this call. Boy, we're talking about pricing today, and I've called this talk 5 Steps to Profitable Pricing. And I think I hit a nerve because we've had so many people sign up for this call. And I think the problem is that so many people just really struggle with their pricing. So I'm kind of excited to show you a few things about pricing today. I really want to lift up the covers or lift up the skirts or however you want to look at it and show you how it's done, because it really isn't all an art form. There's a huge amount of simple technique and method that can take some of the guesswork out. So this is really for entrepreneurs who are ready to charge compelling prices, ask what they're worth and get it, and feel confident and feel like it's fairly simple and easy for you to go ahead and do that. So if that sounds good to you, you're actually in the right place. So here's a couple of the things. Ooh, I went a little bit too fast there. So I really just like to say who should be here and who shouldn't be here, because if this is going to waste your time, then let's get you off the call now, because that's definitely not the intention. So if you are a solopreneur or a small business, you are in the right place. If you honestly don't really know whether you're charging too much or too little, and many of the entrepreneurs I work with have no idea, you're in the right place. If you find yourself trading your services, or we're still giving away your services, and this should be uncommon, but I work with entrepreneurs daily and it's not uncommon. A lot of people are doing that. You're in the right place. Also, if you're just kind of struggling to earn what you know you're worth, be here. And if you've not really had a chance to, if you're a newer entrepreneur, or you haven't really been to business school, or you haven't really studied how money methodology is put together, you're also in a really good place. So stay. And also, if you just don't feel very confident about pricing your services, all of those will make this a good call for you. And if none of those are a good fit, then this is probably not the best hour of your time. So you may as well go and get on with your day. So let me start off first of all, and I really like to ask the question, why would you listen to me? And I actually think it's a good question, because an hour of anybody's time is precious these days. So I've got a lot of people on the call that are not new to me, so I don't want to spend ages talking about me here. I'd actually rather share as much content with you as I can today. But I did think, sorry about that little pop-up, and I should just mention for those of you that are having techie, some people are great with GoToWebinar, but if you are listening in and are having techie problems, what I want to say to you is, don't worry if you can't follow the screen show. You should be able to follow the screen show by clicking on the blue daisy icon on your screen, which will be the GoToWebinar panel, and you should be able to follow along with the slides. But if you can't follow along on the slides and you can just hear me, don't fret. Use the time to listen to me. And you can have a look at the replay if you really wanted to see the pictures. But I would just invite you to be present and follow along, whether you're listening or watching or both. So why am I any authority on this topic? Well, I have this is the third business I've run, so I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur at this stage. I've walked the walk of most entrepreneurs who've had to figure out what to do. So I've definitely been in a place of really not knowing how to charge and not being too sure what to do about it and having to figure it out. And I wish somebody had told me years and years ago with my first business what I'm going to share with you today, because it would have made my life a lot easier. And then I've actually helped hundreds and hundreds of small businesses, one-man entrepreneurs, to get their pricing right and to really charge a whole lot more so that they can actually start getting a decent price for what they do. I also teach this topic. Every year I have a 3-day event, and so I teach this topic annually for a whole day just on money methodology and pricing. Now, we obviously only have an hour here, but I do want to tell you I unashamedly want to whet your appetite for what's coming, because I do have my annual 6-figure solo secrets money methodology event coming up later this month, and I've taken material from that event to share with you today. And I unashamedly want to tell you, I want to whet your appetite today, so that if you aren't coming to the event, you know that you need to be there if it's right for you, or you know that it's not for you if it's not. So that's why I think you should listen to me. I do this a lot, and I'm pretty good at it. So I run a company called The Startup Expert. I think you know that. I really specialize in helping entrepreneurs who haven't broken six figures yet to get past the six-figure barrier. So I have a very specific niche that I'm trying to help. And many of these people are still trying to figure out entrepreneurial basics like pricing. So really what I want to tell you about what's possible for you today is I want you to leave here after our hour together with confidence, knowing how to put together some compelling pricing, and above all, some very profitable pricing. So that really is what's possible in less than an hour. So I want you to feel those things when you go today. I'm holding that space for you, and I'm going to do my best to help you get there. So here's what I'm going to go over today. You know, it's impossible to talk about money without starting here, because our belief systems govern everything. Honestly, they govern how successful we are, they govern how healthy we are, they govern how happy we are. But what we're telling ourselves here makes a big difference. And you honestly can't really talk about pricing without talking a little bit about mindset. So I'm going to give you 3 mindset shifts that made a big difference for me, and I hope they'll make a big difference for you as well. I want to answer the question, how do you know what your service is worth? Because as far as I can tell, most entrepreneurs just guess, and there's no reason to guess. I really want you to know. I'm going to show you how to calculate that. One of the other things I notice entrepreneurs doing is being very slow to increase their prices and uncertain about when and how to increase the price. I want to give you that as well so that you know. And then I love this, but I want to give you 4 amazing tools to incorporate into your pricing so that you get a much easier buy decision. And what I mean by a buy decision is when you're trying to sell something, that your customer gets off the dime and actually makes a decision, yes or no, they want to buy or not. So I'm excited to share those with you. Then I want to finish up with just sharing a very profitable secret that is little known and even less used, but can make a quantum shift in the earnings of your business. And I'm always looking for the things that make a quantum shift. And the nice thing about pricing and money methodology for an entrepreneur is it is 100% learnable. So you do not need to be talented to do this. You don't need to be a gifted entrepreneur. You do need to learn what to do, and you're so in the right place to do that. So I'm going to give you everything I can in 60 minutes. And guys, excuse me, my voice is definitely a bit scratchy today. I came back from Mexico this weekend, and I seem to have picked up a bit of a cold, but I didn't want to renege on today. So forgive me if my voice is a bit scratchy. And of course, I can't remember what I was going to tell you about. Oh, yes, I do. So I had told you that I would answer your specific pricing questions. And when I put together the content today, I don't know what to take out, but I don't feel like we can do question time and content time. So here's my compromise. I'm going to spend today talking about content, but I will actually answer every single question if you go and put it on my Facebook page. So my Facebook page is www.facebook.com/TommiWolfFan. And let me actually go ahead and send it to everybody on the call right now. I'm sending it through, so you should get the link. I've just sent it to you through the chat session of GoToWebinar. But it's facebook.com/TommiWolfFan. If you go and post your question there, I will answer your personal question for you within the next 24 hours. I hope that's helpful. I hope that's a good compromise, but I really couldn't figure out what content I wanted to take out here, so I decided not to take anything out. So let's get going with the content. And of course, as promised, the first thing I want to talk about is money mindset. Now, I feel like there are actually 12 very important energetic mindset shifts. And by energetics, I mean, you know, what you believe and what you feel and the place you're coming from makes an enormous difference when you're dealing with anything to do with money. So, you know, at our event, we spend quite a bit of time measuring your own personal money energy, and I don't have time to do that today, but it's quite interesting to see some of the funny, weird things we believe about money. And I can actually almost tell, you know, when we ask a couple of simple questions about do you think this and do you think that and do you think the next thing, I can even tell where somebody's money energy is and whether it's getting in the way of their pricing. So, but I do want to give you 3 of the 12 keys today. So the first one really is that when most people set a price for their service or their product, it is incredibly wrapped up in their self-worth. And for most of the entrepreneurs I know, and I want to say this carefully because I just want to, here are the facts, guys. You can't get away from these numbers, okay? Only 3% of entrepreneurs ever breaks into six figures. That's a really kind of a dismal and depressing number. It's a low number. So the fact of the matter is most entrepreneurs are not going to break through six figures. And one of the most fundamental reasons why is because of a self-worth and a self-esteem kind of an issue. That's really the thing that most gets in the way for entrepreneurs. So, you know, the question that I really want to ask, first of all, I want you to separate your pricing from your self-worth, because the fact of the matter is your pricing, what you charge for your services is not about you. It's not a measure of how valuable you are. It's got nothing to do with whether the client's going to say yes or say no. Why do you think clients say yes or say no to what you're offering? It generally has way more about what they want, what they're ready to do, than it has anything to do with you and your self-worth. So I really just want you to, in your head, totally separate your self-worth and your self-esteem from your pricing, because I really don't believe that they're valid at all. And I'll tell you what to replace it with in a moment. I'll show you how to calculate your pricing. But almost all of the entrepreneurs that come into my year-long mastermind program are stuck around with what they're confident charging has got so much to do with their self-worth, and it's just the wrong place to be setting your pricing, okay? I'll tell you what it comes from. So that is mindset number one. Mindset number two. We're so hung up on this, oh my goodness, but our society just does it. Everybody's looking for the latest deal, and can you get something on Groupon, and have you got a coupon or a voucher? But I think that everybody starts just assuming that people want cheap. And guys, here's the fact of the matter, especially if you, and there are people out there who just want cheap. We all know them. Maybe you're one of them, okay? But let me tell you, if you run a tiny business, a one-man business, are the people that want cheap really your ideal clients, okay? And I would really put forward to you that the people that you want as your ideal clients are the people that really want results. Now, we've got a whole, wow, we've got a lot of people on this call, but we have a whole bunch of different businesses here. So I don't want to make any generalizations here because, but I want to give you an example that shows you how silly it is to assume that people want cheap rather than people want results. And the best analogy I've ever found is you imagine going and if you're walking past a door in a hospital when you had a brain tumor and you had a choice of two brain surgeons, and one of them had a sign outside saying, extra cheap, amazing deal, buy before Friday, and the other one had 99.9% success rate. You see my point, okay? Most people who are going to make a buy decision actually would like a result rather than cheap. And although there are people who want cheap, if you're a tiny one-man business, you probably can't afford to do business with cheap, just because you actually have to be quite a big business to cope with the volumes of dealing with the low end of the market. So I really want you to absorb that the people that you are going to service, seek out, create products for, and market to are the people that are actually very invested in getting amazing results. And you need to put your energy and time into getting amazing results for them rather than creating cheap for them. Make sense? Good. All right. So, so then the next thing, and I just feel like this is one of the most powerful concepts in the world, is the concept of win-win energy. And I love this so much. Honestly, the plates on my car actually say win-win. Or I suppose they say W1N, W1N. But it's fundamental to an energetic shift inside you, where you stop trying to. Most of the entrepreneurs, let me rephrase it this way, most of the entrepreneurs I work with are not on the take. They're not trying to make money at other people's expenses. If anything, they're the opposite. If anything, they're trying so hard to help, and they're underpricing themselves, and they're giving their services away, and they're struggling to make money. So they're almost going too far the other way. But, you know, there's various levels of energetic performance and how you show up in the world. And a win-win energy is a very high, very strong entrepreneurial energy, and it's very associated with success. But I want to show you what the other energies are so that you know. The lowest energy form, and I'm taking this out of IPEC coaching school. I'm a certified life coach, and this is where I learned this stuff. But the lowest form of energy is victim energy. It's where you feel like you can do nothing. And very few entrepreneurs have victim energy because they would never get off their duff and start a business. But it's a very ineffective place for an entrepreneur. The next highest form of energy is showing up in conflict and resistance to everything. It's just how you show up in life. There definitely are entrepreneurs in this level, and to some extent it works. All of their levels work to some extent. But being in conflict and resistance is exhausting, and both victim and conflict are negative states. Level 3 energy is much more positive. It's really where people take ownership and responsibility. I love these entrepreneurs. These are the guys that say, I'm responsible for the health and success of my business. They get what they need. They take the training. They learn what they don't know. It's great. Level 4 energy is really committed to being in service to others. These are the coaches, the therapists, the helpers, the teachers, the people in the health industry, full of level 4 helping energy. But level 5 energy is win-win. And this is really where you put your clients' needs or your prospective clients' needs and your own needs on the level. So in other words, you're providing amazing service for them and yourself. It's not at your own expense. So everybody wins in this situation. And every one of these energetic stages that I've been through is as you move up through them, you increase your success and your earnings. So one of the things that I would ask you to do is when you're in a difficult situation where you're trying to make a decision, always as an entrepreneur, ask yourself, how can I be responsible here? How can I be of service? Or better still, how can I make this a win-win? And I do this when I coach clients. I sometimes say, how can we make this a win for everybody? And what comes out is beautiful. But you want to remember this in your pricing in a very big way. So those are 3 energetic shifts that will really help you with your pricing. So I did want to share those with you, and I know I'm moving fast here. But then the next thing that I did promise you today is I said that I would help you calculate your pricing. So, and I will, but I want to show you what some of the common mistakes are so you know what to stop doing. So, common mistakes. See if you recognize any of yourself here. Charging too little. Okay, this is so common. Most entrepreneurs really charge too little. Why? Because they think people want cheap, and because they are creating their pricing from a measure of their own self-esteem. And guys, because most entrepreneurs, every human being, the human condition is to fear rejection, and this is why we struggle so much with our pricing. We're actually fearing rejection. So this is why we charge too little. I will never forget once, years ago, in my first business when I didn't really know how to charge. I had a client, it was a big tech company, and I was an IT management consultant. And I'd worked with them for a couple of years, and they really just started getting up my nose. I wasn't enjoying them, and I felt like they were really taking advantage of me. And I looked at, they were paying me about $10,000 a month, and I was really just thinking, man, I'm sweating bullets for this $10,000 a month. I just actually don't want it anymore. So, but it's hard to get out of a consulting contract. You can't just say, hey, I don't like you guys anymore. So I got sneaky, and what I did was I doubled my prices because I was just trying to price myself out the market. So I went from $10,000 to $20,000 a month. And to my shock and initial horror, they just said, okay. And they didn't even flinch. And then I was like, man, why didn't I say 30 or 40,000? How much profit have I been leaving on the table all this time? And 2, another interesting thing happened. I showed up differently because I didn't, for 20 grand a month, they didn't seem so bad. But I've never forgotten how easy it is to charge way too little and just leave a lot of profit on the table. So you don't, I say, we'll talk a little bit about how you can raise your prices so you're not every month just leaving profit on the table. Number 2 is guessing, okay? And guessing's not bad, it's not terrible, and sometimes we do have to guess a little bit, but I want to give you a calculation rather. Number 3 is we look around at what our competitors are doing, and we see if we can undercut them a little bit. Guys, this is the suckiest pricing policy that I have ever seen, okay? If you want to get into price wars with your competition, good luck to you. but don't come crying to me when your business is struggling. You really want to just get away from the competition. You want to be creating packages and products and services where it's very hard to compare you to somebody else, and there's always a way to do that. There's always a way of setting yourself apart from your competition so that you can charge whatever you like, and that's always the best place. Another one is charging what you think you can get away. Oh, hang on, trading or giving away your services. This is huge. Why is this a problem? This is one of the money energy questions that I told you we do at the event, but here's the problem with trading or giving away your services. One, it undervalues you. Two, it comes from a place of fear and self-esteem issues. Three, even though, yeah, you can, you can get a manicure in exchange for a massage or something and it all seems good, it's not real money, guys, and money needs to flow. It needs to flow for the people you're serving. You honor them by paying you. They honor you by paying you. You can't save for your daughter's college or go and buy groceries and put food on the table on traded services. You can't. So trading or giving away, and the other funny thing is, and it took me a long time to realize this as an entrepreneur, because I did this. I'm guilty as charged. I've been where you are. I've never traded services with a client that has had good results with me. And I think it's because they don't show up properly, because they don't take it seriously. So you really undervalue your services by trading them. And I remember having this discussion at New Year's Eve last year. I was at a party, and there was a chiropractor there who was boasting that all his clients were traded services. And he was really proud of it. And, I started cross-questioning him because I don't believe in this. And when I started cross-questioning him, he was really struggling. And what he'd managed to do was fill his hours day by day, 8 to 5, with starving clients who couldn't or wouldn't pay him. So, of course, he was struggling. So he really had created an ideal client that couldn't afford to honor him or his services or his skills. That is so not ideal. And giving things away simply means nobody's going to appreciate it or see the value. You definitely don't want to go there. So charging what you think you can get away with is just coming from the wrong place. It's actually being like on the take. You really want to make a value-based decision. And then this is the charging as much as your courage permits. Actually, I'm not as against this one, but again, it comes from the wrong place. I feel like you don't want to use courage to set your pricing. You want to use numbers and values. So here's the other thing that I notice is if you can't sell your services, a lot of the entrepreneurs I touch, that I come into contact with, will just keep decreasing and decreasing and decreasing their services, assuming that they're too expensive. And what I want to tell you, that is almost never what's going on. That would be the last thing that I would assume is going on. And I'm just going to ask the question, because it may have happened to you, and it has happened to a lot of people I know, where you've tried to sell something and you brought the price down and it hasn't sold, so you brought it down. And in the end, you find you can't even give away your service. And all I want to say is try doubling the price. It might go a whole lot better. And I remember a financial advisor once who had dropped his services to $20 an hour. Seriously, guys, who wants financial advice from somebody who's charging $20 an hour when you can figure out that over the year he can't make more than $20,000 of income doing that? So that's the thing. You've really just got to be a little bit cautious there. So then the obvious question is, okay, well, how should I calculate my pricing? So let me give you something a little bit more concrete. I like to feel, all of us want a more scientific basis to work from. So a scientific basis for you is that you can get 10 times your clients, once they buy your product or your service, should be able to get 10 times to 100 times the return on investment that they've spent. Okay? So a return on investment basically means, if you spend $1, you should be able to expect to get $10 to $100 back from having invested the money with somebody. So let me give you a couple of examples here just so you know what I'm talking about. I specialize in getting people through 6 figures. 6 figures is $100,000. So I should be able to charge 10% of that for a high-end service. So I should be able to charge, so $10,000 wouldn't be unrealistic if I if I can take somebody into six figures, putting down the 10% is a very fair return on investment. Now, and that might be great for a high-end coaching package. If I wanted a more low-end package, which wasn't quite as functionally rich, but they could maybe get 100 times, I might want to put down, you know, $1,000 service, maybe $1,000 info product or something, and, you know, if you took them into six figures, they get 100. So that's kind of how you'd calculate it. I think of one of my clients, Sherry, who she used to sell a $100,000 service. So yeah, I wish I sold a $100,000 service. I don't. But really what she did was work in companies and organizations that would bring in $1 million or more for the client. So you've got to be able to demonstrate the return on investment. Now, some of you, that's a big relief. Some of you are probably thinking, but I have no idea what this is worth to my clients. So if you're somebody who can easily see what a return on investment a successful client would get from you, then this is the rule of thumb to use. If you are struggling a little bit with trying to figure out what this might be worth to your clients, I want to tell you, first of all, at our event, we do a 40-minute exercise that really helps people get crisp on what the value is for the client. And I hope you come to the event. If you don't know how to do this, you need to be there. But let me give you something that to just noodle about in the meantime. Go home and daydream about all the ways that your client is going to get value, and do your best to just put a financial number against it. Sometimes it's a bit of guesswork, sometimes it's a bit hard, but it will be a revolutionary exercise with you, and it will really help you to figure out what this return on investment is. So really that's the calculation that you want to use. I also want to talk to you a little bit about increasing your prices. And I want to talk about two things. One of them is when, and the second one is how. So when to increase your prices. If you haven't increased your prices in the last year, you're due. I worked with this attorney in LA who, you know, when I found out he hadn't had a price increase for 5 years, I was like, when are you going to do this? It's time. And he gave me the longest. He spent 35 minutes telling me why he couldn't increase his prices and how he would lose his clients and so on and so forth. And we spoke a bit about it, and many of his clients were Fox Studios and, you know, the big guns, and a couple of them were much smaller clients. But anyway, despite being very doubtful, I didn't think he was going to do anything. But about a month later, I got a letter back saying, you'll never believe this. I put my prices up 15%. Now, in his business, that was huge. It was hundreds of thousands of dollars. He didn't lose any clients, and he was so excited with that. A couple of months later, he raised them another 10%, and he had his first $1 million year. So pricing can, you know, I mean, there's only so many ways to make more money in your business. You can raise your prices, or you can increase your clients. That's pretty much it, okay? So you do want to be keeping the right numbers on your pricing. So every 6 to 12 months, I would plan an increase. And I would keep increasing until you start meeting with resistance. You'll feel it. You'll feel when the resistance. So I don't, you know, if you were in one of my mastermind programs and struggling with this, I would start you low where you feel comfortable, so that you feel like you're taking a bit of a risk, but not a huge risk. But as you sell it, you know, I want the sales because I want the money flowing. I want the confidence. I want people to have a big customer base because customers get more customers. But as the sales start happening, I'd start quite rapidly increasing the pricing. You know, every 2 or 3 sales, put it up a little bit until you start hitting resistance and where it's becoming uncomfortably hard for you to do a sale. And many people still keep increasing their prices at that point because they'd rather have a very few high-end clients than a large number of low-end clients. For obvious reasons, a small business is much easier to manage that. So that really is when. So I hope lots of you are able to go and give yourself a nice price increase. And then how? People get really bogged down by this. But there's many ways to do this. But let me give you some simple tips that I normally advise. Is I don't like increasing prices for existing clients. I think it's not fair. But depending on, so in my business model, I never have to. Whatever the price they come in at is good for the time they're with me. But if you keep your clients a very long time, that may not be practical. So ideally, you definitely want to write into your contracts that you're subject to price variation and give them an estimate of what they think it is. But the best way really is to warn people ahead of time to say, you know, it's now September, you might say, you might send out a little brochure or email or something, or call all your clients, which is always good, and say, hey guys, January 1, our prices are going up. They're going up by 15%. But I did want to give you a heads up. If you would like to pre-buy services for next year, you can do it beforehand at the old rate. I wanted to give you that heads up. So that way you can actually create a little mini rush of sales, and it actually feels to them like you're doing them a favor and giving them a heads up and giving them a chance to pre-buy, rather than that you're whacking them with an increase. So that's how you handle it for your existing clients. And for your new clients, it really doesn't matter. You know, that's the expectation coming in. So that it really is something you want to stay on top of, is your pricing, because this is one of the areas to grow your business easily, and you don't want to be leaving profits on the table. So I'm keeping an eye on the time here, because I do have a lot of content I want to go through with you. So I hope I'm not going too fast. Let me move forward. So I told you that I was going to get you easier buy decisions, give you a couple of tools to help you get easier buy decisions. And you might be wondering, if you're following along on the screen, why I have a picture of toothbrushes showing here. And I'm sort of wondering myself. I know why I put toothbrushes here. There was a good reason. Sometimes I have a reason for what I do. So let's assume that you were going to come and clean my floor. I wish. And when you got here, I gave you a toothbrush, and I said, here's the floor, would you clean it? You'd probably think I was mad. And you'd probably want a slightly better tool to be cleaning the floor, like a Swiffer or something. So this is really about giving you the tools you need. Now, I don't understand why entrepreneurs spend as much time as they do just absolutely never learning what they need to know, because year in and year out, they have very difficult time getting buy decisions. And this is, as I said to you earlier, guys, this stuff is 100% teachable. You can learn it. You don't have to be talented for this. You need to learn it and you need to practice it. But this is one of the tools that will make mopping the floor, if you like, a whole lot easier if you have the right tools. So tool number one to get a better buy decision is to understand what a benefit is and know when to use it. People are mystified by this. I've actually seen, I had one of my clients come in with a marketing guru that had written out her benefits for her, and she totally screwed them up. So here's what people get mixed up between. You have features of your product and you have benefits of your product. So, and you might want to sort of, if you have a piece of paper in front of you, draw two columns. And every feature that you offer for your product or your service will have a corresponding benefit. And what you want to do is to stop talking so much about the features and start talking a whole lot more about the benefits. Because guys, people are not buying you for the features of your product or your service. They are buying the benefits that the service can get with them. And I want to give you a little example here so that you can see what I'm talking about. So let's assume that you specialize in weight loss, and you have a sort of a service product combination where, let's say, people work with you for 6 months at a time. They have, let's say, they come in and spend time with you every 2 weeks. You're mentoring them and helping them and weighing them and going over their diet. So let's say they have 3 50-minute sessions with you a month. Let's say they can email you anytime they like. And let's say that you put them on a very rigorous diet and you sell supplements to support them through the way. So I have just given you a features list. It's a 6-month package. It's got 3 50-minute coaching sessions. It's got email support, and it's got supplements. And guys, when I look at entrepreneurs' websites, this is how you're advertising your products. This is what's in your brochures. This is how you're talking about it. I go to networking events and people sit there and say, yeah, people can work with me. They can come in for 6 months and they get three 50-minute coaching sessions. Here's the deal. Your prospects have no idea why 3 months is better than 6 months. They might want to lose weight in a month. So 6 months might actually be negative to them. 50-minute coaching sessions, because they don't know yet what you're going to do and how awesome you are, they have no idea if it's important or not. They might hate taking supplements. So these things on their own are not compelling at all. you've got to turn them into the benefits. So for example, a benefit of a 6-month package is to say, I'm going to work with you for a full 6 months so that you are not alone while you fundamentally change your habits and behaviors. You cannot do this quickly. So can you hear the difference between selling a 6-month package or selling a 6-month hand-holding support so you are not alone? One of them, they get that they need. One of them is immaterial. That's the difference between a feature and a benefit, okay? The supplements, you might say, guys, people who are overweight have every cell in their body is desperate for nutrition and it's causing cravings, and so this will get these things under control. So again, you're explaining to them why they want it and what it's going to do for them. So take away your hunger pangs, so that you can rely on your confidence and not be white-knuckling through this period. So tell them why you're doing something, what's in it for them, and really learning how to talk about benefits. And I do this day in and day out with my clients. I've actually gotten pretty good at taking a feature and turning it into a benefit. I will tell you it's quite hard for some of my clients, and until they get it. And I've got one of my favorite clients, Susan. I wonder if Susan's on the call. Let me take a peek. But we were sitting in a coaching session, and I actually saw the lights go on while we were talking, where she was actually able to. Now, I'm not seeing her. I was going to put her on the spot. That's a pity. It'd be lovely to have her here. But it's almost like you've got to cut a new groove in your brain so you can stop talking about features and start talking about benefits. But it's one of the most powerful things you will ever do. And really, it's just like connecting the dots so that people get why this is important for them. But you need to talk about that when you're selling, on your website, in your brochures, everywhere you talk about it. So that is by decision tool number 1. Here's tool number 2. You need to include bonuses in your offers. This is the section we spend a whole day at my event talking about. And we actually, one of the exercises we do is we take a product or service and we actually create the benefits. We pull out the bonuses. We go through all of these tools and more so that you come out at the end of the day with the thing good to go. But a bonus really is, human beings love a freebie. It always makes them excited. But you don't have to do there's already a bonus in your product somewhere. Almost always what we're offering, there's a bonus. And let me give you a simple example. But in my mastermind programs, I pull out one of the bonuses as being the Facebook team room. Now, the guys love the team room. They a lot of them are they don't all, about sort of 85, 90% of them do, but they love sharing and being with each other and celebrating successes and getting opinions and advice and so on. And it's already in the program, so I just pull it out as a free bonus. So generally, you can pull out your bonuses from what you're already offering, but it's a way of highlighting something that people love, and there's just an art form to pulling it out of what you're already going to offer them. So in my weight loss example, I might pull out for bonuses. I might pull out, the fact that you get totally free email support, so that when you have a weak moment, you instantly have a buddy or something like that. But if it's in the program already, it's not costing you more to pull it out as a bonus. So I hope that makes sense. Limiters are amazing, okay? There's been research shown, and this has been my experience, that limiters will double your sales all by themselves. And generally, a lot of people just have no idea what a limiter is. Very few entrepreneurs know how to use them effectively. So a limiter is really where you will offer them something that is either time dependent or quantity dependent. And so really how it looks, and I will demonstrate this for you on the course. I will show you a limiter in action in a moment, and I'll just say, I'll even call out and say, hey guys, I'm doing the limiter now, so look and see how it's done. But where you will have a limited amount of time or a limited number of things. So let's say I was selling event seats and I only had 5 seats left. If I said, hey guys, there's only 5 seats left, who wants them? Infinitely more appealing to you than saying, hey guys, come to my event. Because human beings just value scarcity. We always, and the other thing with a limiter is it actually helps people make a decision. So, and all of these tools, by the way, some people will already know they're coming your way, but for the pool of people who are trying to make a decision, these tools really help those people to make a decision, and the limiter will help them make a decision quickly, which, let's face it, serves you and your client really well. So I need to hurry up here. Irresistible offers. You really want to include something that's extremely good for. Oh no, I'm actually doing fine on time. Relax, we're good. So, sorry, irresistible offers is really to put something that's, it's just irresistible. I don't know how else to say it. It's irresistible. So you give them something that they really want and they're really going to do well with, and you just say, if you buy this, I'm going to give you this amazing something. And I'll demonstrate this for you as well so that you can actually see what it looks like. So, so all of these are actually, this is pricing methodology, guys. This is when you put together offerings. I want to show you something else that we do at the event. It takes more time. It takes more than an hour to go through this. But if you're looking along on the webinar, I'm showing you a pricing template here, which really is a little spreadsheet we do at the event, which actually shows you exactly how to go and do your, your published pricing, your personal incentivized pricing. It also shows you how to go and if you want to do repeating payments, how much to ask for as a deposit, how to calculate your repeating payments, how to get a quick decision, how to get a pay in full decision. So these are all things that we go through in the event, but they're super important for your business. And I'll never forget Kendra Prospero standing on my stage, and this was at the event last year, and she just said, guys, I just want you to try this. They work instantly. I started using them and I got instant results. So they really aren't difficult to do. They just need to be implemented and done. So let's talk a little bit about what I call a very profitable secret. And it's not very well understood, and it's hardly used at all. But for the businesses that know it, this tends to be about 60% of their business. So imagine if you could sort of double your sales right now, so this could be 60% of your business as well. So let me give you the word that it is, upsell. So I'm hoping everybody knows what an upsell is, but just in case you don't, it really means this is something that you offer to an existing client. So, so they have already bought something from you, and you offer them something more. So upsells are incredibly counterintuitive, okay? What we think is that, well, if somebody's bought something, they've spent all their money, and they're done. Well, actually, nothing could be further from the truth. There's detailed research to show that this just isn't the case. So smart businesses always have a way of upselling to their existing clients. Now, this works at so many different levels. Remember, it's, an existing client you don't have to go and get. They already know you and like you and trust you enough to spend money with you. And this is true even if they've only spent a little bit of money with you, like $10 or $100. It doesn't have to be huge. And the best example for this, have you ever seen these special offers that they sell on TV and buying channel where you get a whole bunch of free products promising you that you'll look young forever, and all you've got to do is pay the shipping and handling of $4.99? I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Why does this work? Guys, because if you'll spend $6.99 with somebody, there is about an 85% chance that you will spend a whole lot more. It's parting with that first $6.99. Nothing is as hard as parting with an incredibly much bigger price. So these are people that like you enough to pull out their credit card and do anything with you, and they also step forward and show themselves as being interested. So it's much, much cheaper marketing to these people than it is marketing to the unknown public when you don't know whether they want to do business with you, right? So it does actually make sense. It's all about the know, like, and trust. These are proven people who stepped forward and said, I like you, I love you, I trust you, I want what you've got. So of course it's going to be an easier sell. So you've got a high chance of success. And what's quite interesting is there's actually a little period. You might think, well, I can't sell them anything for another 6 months or a year after they've just bought. But in actual fact, there's like a rosy glow period. Maybe it's like the honeymoon period of a client, if there is such a thing. But the research also shows that you're more likely to do business with them quite quickly after they sell. And, if you, I don't know if you use One Shopping Cart or Infusionsoft, which I use, or, these tools that you offer an upsell ability, because they've shown that flat out the gate you'll increase your sales by 30% just by offering something more at checkout. And I find this super annoying. I know when I buy Beachbody videos, I can't check out because they keep offering me more stuff, and it's just like, stop already, I've bought. But it's ruthlessly effective, you know, 30% more effective right at checkout, and within the honeymoon period, it has a higher effectiveness rate, could be nearly 60% effective. So what does this mean to you? You always want to have an upsell available. You always want to be able to offer your clients something more than what you have. And at the event, we will show you how to set up your offerings so that you always have a range of offerings so that you can always lead your clients up the upsell path. So this is just a huge amount of untapped income waiting for most of you that you really don't have in place yet. So, so really everything I've shown you today comes from something that I call the revenue formula. And the revenue formula is something that I like to think of as toothbrush needs a mop, if you like. So this is really just giving you decent tools to do the job. So instead of scrubbing the floor with a toothbrush, you get to have a real mop. I hate mops. I'm a Swiffer girl. I don't want to like have to. I've never figured out how to take the wet and get it out and clean it. So so maybe I need a picture of a Swiffer there. In the unlikely event that I'm going to clean the floor at all, which has got to be an emergency. But for entrepreneurs, pricing and money methodology and really taking a revenue formula and applying it to your business is very much like giving you the tools so that you can clean a floor with a mop. And guys, you must know, I mean, anybody ever tried wallpapering? I did it twice. I did it once with, you know, whatever I could find in the kitchen. It was a disaster, and I called professionals. And once I actually watched a video on how to do it and went and got the tray to soak the wallpaper in, and I got the right little tools and rollers and everything, and I was a pro. So it's the same with your business. It's exactly the same. Get the tools you need, and you will have a very easy time. Don't get the tools you need, and you can struggle for years. So I want to show you what the revenue formula looks like. And it's a combination of a couple of different things. It's mindset. And we've just touched very briefly on mindset today for about 5 minutes. But there's a lot of mindset work, just mental work and change and fixing up in your head that needs to happen to make money, because most of it's here. I mean, one of the great exercises I'm excited to do at the event is really just trying to figure out how much do you actually need to make, because most people know their minimum number. But have you ever wondered what your maximum number is? And I'm actually going to show you what you can do exactly with certain maximum numbers. And your maximum number might be lower than you think. It might actually be lower than you think. We're going to do that. So that's really the mind work. Money-making methods, we're going to do 8 hours of what I've spent an hour doing with you today. And we're just going to get in so that you actually leave with it done, really concrete tools. This is day 1 of the event. This is day 2 of the event. Day 3 of the event, we're going to apply money-making models. So we're going to look at business models like should you be running continuity programs? Should you be running workshops? Should you be franchising? Should you be licensing? I'm bringing in amazing experts to show you how they've done it. And we're going to be looking at marketing models. I'm going to bring a guy who's getting 1 million hits on his YouTube videos, and he's going to show you how he's doing it. I'm bringing in a lady that writes a book in a weekend as a business card, calling card, amazing thing. So we've just got some awesome people that I can't wait to share on day 3. And this is when it is. It's September 25th through 27th. That is a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's coming up at the end of this month. It's at the beautiful Inverness Hotel down near the Tech Center in Denver, Colorado. And of course, you can go to the website. This is it, www.sixfiguresolosecrets.com. sixfiguresolosecrets.com. And I'm sure you're probably wondering what the tickets cost. So let me show you. You know, we have increasing pricing, and we're getting close to the event, so the pricing is actually pretty high at the moment. But it's $497 for a ticket. It's going up to $697 next week, and it's actually going to be almost $1,000 at the door. So we're in the last couple of days of reasonable pricing here. And guys, because I know what's at this event, you know, this is one of those things where you talk about return on investment. You will get your money back so many times on the $497 investment. If you don't, call me afterwards and I'll just give you back the money. I'm really happy to stand by that guarantee. And even better than that, once you get your ticket, you will get a chance to bring a friend for just $50. So hint, what a lot of people do is they just split the cost between them. So it'll be, the money plus $50 divided by 2. There's nowhere in Colorado teaching this information, and I don't think there's anywhere in the country that's actually pulled together all this focus on how to actually make money for small businesses. So let me show you a couple of things here. Irresistible offers, I want to show you an irresistible offer. Let me show you what I want to do for you today. I'm going to roll back the pricing, guys. I'm going to take it back to $325. So I'm going to give you a coupon. And if you go to the website, the coupon is pricing discount, all in uppercase, and it will take you back to last month's prices. So you'll only pay $325 for the ticket. You'll still get a chance to bring a friend. So I'm trying to make it a no-brainer for you. And so I hope that that if you can't afford to invest that in your business, you especially need to be at this event. I'm sorry to say, but if you can't make a sensible $325 investment in your business, you need this probably more than anybody else on the call. And I did tell you I would show you what a limiter is. So let me show you a limiter, and this limiter applies to you. Full disclosure here. So for the first 10 people only, so it's limited to the first 10 people, I'm doing something awesome. So guys, at my event, we actually have a VIP ticket, and I have amazing clients. I'm super blessed with that. And the VIP ticket at my event is just some of the best networking you will ever do in Colorado. What you get for the VIP ticket is you get to have lunch in a private dining room for all 3 days. I do not make any money on the VIP ticket. The lunches actually cost me $50 a day. So you get gourmet lunches all 3 days. You network with a concentrated source of other VIP movers and shakers. We throw in the event recordings, so you'll get free recordings of all 3 days. Those sell for $97. You get privileged seating, so you get to sit up close to the stage. And it's amazing. But I will throw in a completely free VIP upgrade to the first 10 people that sign up for it, as well as a pricing discount that I just mentioned. So I hope that makes it super easy. How do you sign up? Let me show you. You will go to the sixfiguresolosecrets.com website. And let me actually take you there now and walk you through it. So the URL is the number 6figuresolosecrets.com. And we're looking at the website here. So there's a whole bunch of information on the website, including, travel. We'll show you the hotel details. You can check out the speakers. Look at our amazing sponsors. We've got some amazing sponsors for the event, which I'm so grateful for. Look at the testimonials of people that have been there before. Don't take my word for it. Go and check out the testimonials. The homepage will give you lots of details. But I just want to show you how to order. Don't go and order a VIP ticket if you're going to order right now. If you're one of the first 10, you get the free VIP ticket. But so you will scroll down this page. You will go in where it says standard tickets. It will say $497. Click that link. And I just want to show you where to enter the pricing discount. So where it says promo code, I'm going to go in and type in the words pricing discount like that. And I'm going to apply it. And you will see that takes away, I don't know how well you can see this, but it gives you $172 off, and you get a choice of 1 payment or 2 payments. We're still in the 2-pay days, so you could have it for as little as 2 payments of $187 each, if you prefer, although that is a little bit more expensive to do it that way. So, single payment makes sense if you can. So that's what to do, and then you will get emails afterwards showing you how to bring a friend. And don't worry about the VIP. If you are one of the first 10 people in, I will automatically upgrade you to a VIP seat and let you know. And if you don't hear, then you didn't get the VIP seat, but you will still get the best 3 days of money-making education going in Colorado. So that's what I had to tell you. Let me go back to the page so you can just get that website again. But guys, I did want to say it's been an absolute pleasure being with you today. Thank you so much. I hope I see you at the event. I wish you enormous success pricing. It's amazing what a little bit of entrepreneurial smarts can do. So often we think we need to get lucky or we need to work harder, and very often it's just working smarter and getting the right tools for the job. So I hope I've given you some of that, and I really hope I see you at my event on the 25th of September. Take care, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.